Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube session. I know not too many happy faces there, but I look at the larger picture, the bigger scheme of things, and this video is all about it. So the allocations to the states have been done by the DHA, and along with the states, the applicants expressed their disappointment at the smaller number of allocations given to each state. Now again, I'd like to tell you, please try to look at things in totality. Australia is a country full of surprises. There may be a smaller quota allocated as of now, but you may never know what is in the offing in times to come. Now, first of all, I want to remind you here that the migration plan for the year 23-24 has allocated 137,000 places to skilled migration. That is 72% of the migration planning is allocated to skilled migration, and despite that, such a small number of places being allocated to states. For example, the 189 visa has a quota of 30,375. Now there's been a slight reduction in it by about 2,000. That's because the New Zealand stream closed. So overall, the 189 visa, and you can expect a lot of invitations to come through for the 189 visa, but of course this will be only for those whose occupations are listed on the MLTSSL. Now for the 190, the quota has been allocated at just 10,300, and for 491 it's another 6,400. Now looking at these figures, people have been just in a state of shock, because looking at the total number, that there was a net change of just minus 5,000 visas for this year. So how come the state allocations have been slashed by almost 1/5 of the visas, of the quota? So please let me tell you here that first of all, you need to look at the whole thing logically. So recently we had this minimum income threshold being raised to 70,000, and there was a lot of hue and cry about 491 applicants being subjected to a higher income level to achieve. But in due course of time, it was revealed that 491 was not subjected to any minimum income level at all. So obviously when the income level was increased, it did not add up to the fact that on one hand, Australia is looking at attracting more skilled migrants to come into Australia, and on the other hand, they're trying to raise the income threshold for them. So that eventually did not happen. Similarly, you must remember that Australia's skilled migration program is largely devoted to skilled migration, and state nominated visas form a very large part of this program. Therefore, the figures you are looking at right now do not justify as to how Australia can fill up 137,000 places in this year by just allocating about 16,000 plus places to these states. So I think you can rationalize there. Now also, I'd like to tell you that if Australia's intention was really to bring down the state nominations and discourage migrants, it would have first of all pruned down its occupation list. It did not touch its occupation list at all. And then the immigration intake, which is at 137,000 for skilled migrants at this time, would have obviously been slashed, which did not happen. Therefore, all I can say as of now is that you have a lot to look forward to, so do not be dissuaded by the figures that have come in front of you about a couple of days back. Now, I'd also like to tell you that last year, in the last 22-23, we saw a lot of things which I think the DHA has been very mindful of while allocating the quotas to states this time. There were lots of duplicate EOIs, not just in different states, but within the same states. I mean, we had a person filing for a 190 EOI, let's say for South Australia, and another EOI for 491. Then we had multiple EOIs floated into the skill select system, and a large number of invitations went wasted because the same applicants were being sent invitations from different states and for different visa subclasses by different states. In fact, I do recall that once we got a lot of around 37 invitations or 35 invitations from South Australia, and it was a little disappointing for us to realize that out of those 35 applicants, around 27 applicants had already obtained their nomination or had applied for the nomination with NSW. So last time the quota was wasted a lot, so probably this time they're planning to phase out the allocation so that nobody brings in EOIs in a haste and the system being duplicating and wasting a lot of EOIs. And as explained last year for 22-23, they had actually gone in for a phased out strategy, and we do very much expect that to happen this year as well. I personally do not look at it as a final quota, definitely not. We do expect the states to be given more quota, but I guess the reason why the DHA has not given the entire quota to states right now is because there would be a lot of applications going in. People will immediately clog the system with a lot of applications, and then there'll be a lot of workload on the DHA. And right now, keeping in mind the DHA's processing backlog, probably they're going to do it in a phased manner. Now, all I can tell you as of now is that we can expect the invitations to happen around September end. Now, please do not be taken in by any rumors where people claim that invitations have already started. Invitations have not started yet. Only ACT has given very handful of invitations to apply for nominations, mind you. It's not for visas, for nominations. No other state has started the invitation rounds under the program 22-23. So that is something that's going to happen in September end. Whereas I think South Australia is a state that is likely be the first one to come out with its invitation round. So probably that could also happen in the first week or second week of September. Now we need to see whether the NSW continues with its direct application this year or not. That is something we will need to see. And the good news is that we do not see any indication by any state that seems to imply that only those with higher points are going to be picked up. So if this is something that has been kind of bothering you, please drop it. All I can say in the end is, as NSW very nicely put it in one of its emails to the migration agents, it's not about the haste in terms of the EOIs, it's about the precision. So we have to make sure that the EOIs are very well prepared and the EOIs are very well presented. And if your EOIs are accurate and well presented, you will stand a great chance of getting an invitation to apply for a nomination. So that is it for today. I'll be in touch with you again with more to come in the coming weeks. And lastly, I'd like to say once again, please do not be disappointed. I am not. I am in fact happy that no occupations have been removed and the same occupations have been carried forward. The states have already announced that there's going to be perhaps absolutely no change in their nomination eligibility criteria. So that's great news. Let's wait out for the invitations to come around. Until then, keep yourself skills assessment and EOI ready. Bye-bye and take care.